Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about lighting in this picture. The first thing you should know is that this studio had a fabulous interior, but no professional lighting. No strobe or constant light or any kind of professional lighting at all. What we had were just ordinary commercial building lights with different temperatures. One source was cold, about 6,000 degrees Kelvin. The other was warm, 3,000 degrees Kelvin. There were also fluorescent bulbs and some ordinary dimmer bulbs, like this one. They shone at about 6,000 degrees. The dimmer looked like this. It regulated the power of these light bulbs. I also bought another light bulb from IKEA to simulate a glow coming from a book. It was a very basic, portable light on a wire with a temperature of about 6,000 degrees Kelvin. Basically, that's all I had. Let's see how I set up the light in this picture. I want to preface by saying that the light in this picture is not set up correctly. So I'll first tell you how I did it back then, and then I'll let you know how I'd do it today. My first mistake was placing the contour lighting too low. It created a shadow extending from the model's shoulder to her face. The light should have been placed just above her head, or at the head level, and then it would have fallen evenly, and everything would be super cool. During the shoot, I was standing in front of the doorway to another room, and light was coming from there too. I didn't realize it then, but that light acted as a filling light. It evenly covered the face of our model, creating softer rather than awkward shadows. Now, let's turn on the primary light source. It's not very bright. This was not on purpose, but simply because our light bulb wasn't very powerful. Also, we didn't have a softbox, but there was a reflector instead. Because the main light source wasn't powerful enough, the light from the reflector was also very dim, and so there was no point in having the reflector. The model was holding a lantern with a candle in her left hand. It was supposed to shine with light, but in the end, it just acted as a lousy softbox. Unfortunately, the lantern produced some torn shadows on our model's face, which I only noticed in post-processing. Back then, I was still an inexperienced photographer, so I compensated for all of my mistakes in post-production. For our lesson, that's actually a good thing since we can cover a lot of ground and solve all sorts of things in post-processing. For example, I'll show you how to deal with torn shadows on the face, how to level out the skin tones, and so much more. We'll look into that in the next sections of this class. Right now though, I want to show you how I would set up my lighting if I shot this photograph today. So, let's turn on the filler light first. I always set my filler light to a minimum. With this light, I adjust my camera exposure because it fills the shadows and the darkest areas. I adjust the exposure on the camera in such a way that the histogram skews to the left, where we have shadows and darks. The next step is to turn on the drawing light. I'm going to imitate a softbox with my flashlight. You can see right away that the light on our model's face is now softer and more voluminous. And now, I adjust the drawing light's power so that my histogram reaches the medium tones of the photo. We've come to the third step. I turn on the backlight and adjust its power so that the histogram reaches the highlights, all the way to the right. Let's compare these two photos. I think the differences are very noticeable. The drawing light on the face is very gentle and uniform. We don't have any gaps in the shadows. The backlight creates a smooth contour all around our model. That's all we have for now. We'll talk about image processing in the next section of this course.